Thanks for clicking on Wayne.com for this regional championship edition.
Here we are.
Of Inside the Zone sectionals in the rear view. We're talking regional titles. We've got 7 games to get to, and we're going to start with the biggest classification. We're starting with 6A. Justin Kenny joining us as always. This is going to be a tough matchup for Homestead. It is every year when teams from our local area get past the sectional point, it gets a lot tougher. You're talking about Carmel, 7th in the state, coming in to play Homestead at Homestead on Friday night. What do you see as being the biggest keys in this game as the Spartans host the Greyhounds?
Confidence, I think. In Homestead, play with confidence, feel like they can compete with Carmel because they haven't been able to in the recent past. Same with Carroll. It's just very difficult for area teams to compete with Carmel and those teams down in the Indy. We kind of look at it as those teams that are not from Fort Wayne, that our Fort Wayne teams play. Take Lures, for example, go down and play Northwestern and Peru. Those teams' fan bases think they have a shot, but it is another level of football that us in Fort Wayne play. Now you're stepping up at another level. I think that's kind of what we feel. We look at Carmel, 7-4, maybe Homestead's got a shot. I think Carmel has to play their worst game of a season on Friday for Homestead to have a shot on Friday.
And you take a look at last season. I mean, I was at this game out at Homestead. It was 41-7 Carmel, and they seemed to roll. They beat Fishers last week. But as far as Homestead goes, they may be peaking at the right time of the season. We saw them put up 66 in the Northrop win, and then last week they were up 28-0 on a pretty decent Warsaw team at Warsaw. So they have to feel like, all right, we're maybe playing our best football at the right time of the season, and this could give us a shot.
Definitely, and that's where I think it goes with confidence. I think they're playing confident, playing their best football of the year, have jumped out to quick starts against the teams they've played in the postseason, which is exactly what they're going to have to do against Carmel. They need to have that confidence. They need to feel like they're in the game in the second, third, and fourth quarters to have a chance because, like last year, like you mentioned, that game was over just a couple minutes into the game. So hang around, stay close, and then see what happens in the second half.
And Jaya Wright, you can't say enough about what he's done. We didn't know what we were getting when Drew Casey went down in game 1. But, you know, in the playoffs, in a sectional championship game, to rush for 140-odd yards, 3 touchdowns, that's what he did at Warsaw last week. What does it say about him and also the combination of Jordan Presley, because he went over 100 last year. He's only he's an underclassman at this point. So these are guys that are really leading this team. How much confidence do they have going forward, knowing what they have been able to do thus far in the postseason?
Yeah, we kept talking about, man, if Homestead just had Drew Casey, but here they are with just a pair of losses through, here in regional play. And the way Jaya Wright has been able to come along, and maybe not as prolific a passer as Drew Casey, but a better runner as Drew Casey, has complemented Jordan Presley very well, is dangerous when he gets outside the pocket, can throw, can run, and I think he's been a great weapon for Homestead. And I think they're where they would be if they had Drew Casey. I think they have 2 losses. I think they're in the regional round. So they did lose a Division I quarterback to an injury, but his backup, Jaya Wright, has done a tremendous job.
What has to go right for Homestead to win this on Friday night?
Everything. I mean, pure and simple. I think they need to come out, play a phenomenal game, confident game. The defense needs to get some stops, create some turnovers, give that offense some short field, and then Carmel just needs to have some miscues. They need to shoot themselves in the foot a couple times, and it's possible. It could happen. Playing at home helps a lot. But it's just, Carmel's just a different animal. Those teams down there are just a different animal in 6A.
Homestead has that veteran offensive line. You're talking about 5 seniors. They've been there. They've done that. If they can control the ball, we talked about the running game with Jaya Wright and Jordan Presley. If they can get an early lead and maybe force a turnover, can they grind it out and make this a more interesting ball game, make it a ball game that they can win ultimately when it comes down to the end?
Yeah, do they play keep away with the football? And that'll be tough for Homestead because we're used to them scoring quickly and dropping 66 on Northrop, having another big offensive game last week. So points are good, but you really want that clock needs to be your friend and work that clock, limit the possessions for Carmel, and really win the turnover battle and the time of possession battle. Those are the 2 key things, I think, for Homestead.